Our next speaker, Josh, he's from Tertium Quids. Latin, check it out. Tertium Quids is an independent, nonpartisan issue advocacy organization committed to reducing role scope and costs of government, yay. Protecting private property, promoting choice and competition in education. The term Tertium Quids means third way or third entity and has historic significance in Virginia. The three principles originally formed in 1806 by John Randolph of Roanoke, Nathan Macon, and John Taylor of Caroline, chose the name to indicate they were neither Democrat, Republican, nor Federalist. They were focused instead on reanimating the principles upon which our republic was founded. So, if you will, help me welcome Josh to the podium.
Morning, Stafford. You guys are looking great out there. Thank you for having me here to speak to you briefly on the notion of the people as sovereign. And I think that's important for us to remember these days, because really what is this whole movement about but reasserting our individual sovereignty in the face of a government that essentially wants to deny it. So when I was thinking about the subject of popular sovereignty, I was reminded of a story that I bet a lot of you know. It took place just after the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia in 1787. Legend has it, anyway, that just as Ben Franklin was walking out of Independence, or what is now Independence Hall, there was a crowd gathered, and a woman said, "Doctor, what have you given us?" Franklin famously replied, "A republic, if you can keep it." And that's the key. That is the key. And we have for more than 200 years. But what did Franklin mean, a republic, if you can keep it? Well, first and foremost, he meant that in America, we the people are sovereign, defined as the greatest in status or authority or power. We choose our leaders, and we tell them what powers they may exercise over us. A legitimate government can derive its just powers only by first gaining our consent. I don't know about you, but it doesn't seem to me like the people in Washington are too familiar with that concept. It's unfortunate, because it's one of the founding principles of this nation. But Ben Franklin also meant that the duty to maintain these liberties and maintain our sovereignty would necessarily fall to us, the people. We could never trust those in government to do anything but seek to increase their power and their influence over our lives. Fortunately, they also gave us the Constitution. In that Constitution, they clearly spelled out what powers the government was permitted to exercise over the people. When the citizens of the several states, including the Commonwealth of Virginia, ratified that document, they gave consent to those powers delegated within it, and nothing more. In fact, as the 10th Amendment to our Constitution clearly states, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. In other words, we the people gave our government its power, and we retain supreme authority to define the limits of that power. Any powers exercised without our consent are by definition illegitimate and unjust. Of course, thank you. Try explaining that to a member of Congress, or even to many of those who claim to be our representatives in Richmond, unfortunately, and you are likely to elicit either a blank stare or a good hearty laugh. That is, if they don't call security on you for being a tax-hating, Constitution-quoting domestic terrorist. It's hard to feel like the boss when your employees can have you thrown out of your own building. So what's to be done? Well, for starters, you're doing it. The Tea Party in Stafford, all over Virginia, all over the nation, essentially represents the individual sovereignty movement that must come back to life in America. And it must be sustained. And you guys are every day bowling me over with how passionate and how effective your voices and your activism has been. And it can't get quieter, it has to get louder, it has to get bigger, and you all know it, and you're all doing the right things, and that's awesome. you know, we're going to have a lot of time between now and November to get ourselves registered, get ourselves active, get ourselves campaigning for good candidates. November is going to be a big, big month. Then it's going to start all over again. 2011, there's Virginia elections. There's a Virginia General Assembly session in January. We have to be there for every step of the way. Every bit of the process we have to take control of. If we don't, it will be run by the people who have brought us to this position, which is essentially one of where they want to make themselves the masters over us. We can't allow that to happen, and we have the power to stop it and to turn it back, and just like Jamie said, to advance an agenda of freedom and prosperity in Virginia and in the United States of America, rather than what we've been getting lately, which is a steady dose of statism. Tertium Quids, the organization that I work for, can help. We have a lot of things that we do to help educate and get folks that are active and interested in the issues plugged in, especially in Richmond, especially in the General Assembly. We champion legislation. We help support the Healthcare Freedom Acts. We were supporting various things that didn't go as far as we would have liked, like Taxpayer Bill of Rights, property rights bills. We're going to be back again in 2011 going after those bills. We need your support to help get them passed. One of the things you can do is go to tertiumquids.org and sign the Raise My Taxes, Lose My Vote pledge. This is for state and national legislators. I've got a ton of these bumper stickers. I want to give one to every single one of you so that you can go to the website, you can sign this pledge, and they know they don't get to just tell you where your money's going to go. They have to actually recognize it's your money, and if they don't start spending it wisely and stop taking it out of your pocket, they're going to lose their jobs. And that's really the only thing that we have to tell them. Stop spending our money. And, you know, I would really just leave you with one more quote, another familiar one, an oldie but a goodie from Thomas Jefferson. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. We are here, we are awake, we are vigilant, we may never go back to sleep. We can never go back to sleep. We have to stay vigilant from now till the end of time because our freedoms are on the line, and that's what it's all about. Thank you guys.